Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. This is Venkatesh, your faculty for geography. As you all know, Friday is the day for solving previous year questions so that you are understanding the template of each topic and you are understanding the nature of how questions are asked from but that particular topic, and that helps you for clearing your prelims exam, which is coming up in the next few months, right? It's almost near 4 months now, right? Almost near to 100 days now, less than 4 months. So I expect all of you to participate in these kind of sessions so that you will learn these things a lot better, understand these things in detail, right? So with this, we are starting this previous year question sessions every Friday. In this today's session, we'll be discussing about previous year questions on India natural vegetation. So on the natural vegetation, previous year questions topics are being discussed. See, the objective is very simple. What is that? Learn from it, understand the template of this, and so that you will be practicing such things in the as you are, so that you will be concentrating on such things while you prepare for this exam. So without any much wastage of time, let's start with the today's session. So let's see the first question. First question. Right. So now you can see here in India, which type of the forest, among the options given among the following occupies the largest area? The largest area. Montane wet temperate, subtropical dry evergreen, tropical moist deciduous, tropical wet evergreen. Answer it. Put it in the comment section. Let me see in the live chat. Right. So Gayatri says D. No. No. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. I hope I am audible, all of you. I hope I am audible. Right. Let me check. Right. Okay. Okay. It is audible. So let's see. Now see the explanation. So the reason is there. In India, in what is the kind of climate we talk about in India? We say that India's climate is what? Monsoonal climate. In monsoonal climate, see, natural vegetation is a product of two important things, temperature and rainfall. So if you see that India's temperature, mostly it is tropical, though we find variations across the Himalayas as such, or across the Western Ghats, mostly it is a tropical country. So it is the variation of rainfall which brings around the variety of vegetation in India. And if you see that monsoon is the one major weather system which is bringing huge amount of rainfall to India, that will determine which areas having what variety of natural vegetation. So we know that by nature, monsoonal or seasonal winds, what they are? Seasonal winds. Automatically you will see that they have an impact. They have an impact, and wherever you will find more monsoons, there you will find because of the seasonal impact, there is deciduous vegetation. So majority of the vegetation in India is tropical moist deciduous. That is the reason why it is deciduous. What do you mean by deciduous? Shedding of leaf. Why do you think that we shedding of leaves? Why do you think we shed? Because of the deciduous nature, because of the nature of the monsoons. Don't you find montane wet temperate forest? Now you see, another logic while preparing for the UPSC exam is checking the options and learning out of that as well. What is montane wet temperate forest? Mountain, wet, more rainfall. Where do you get more rainfall, and that too in the mountains? Say Western Ghats, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, the Nilgiris, or else you can talk about the northeastern states of India. So there, that region is not the dominant, right? The largest area, definitely not. Subtropical dry evergreen. Evergreen dry, very difficult. Evergreen is confined to only few areas where there is decent amount of rainfall. Though India receives on an average decent amount of rainfall when compared with any other region of the world, it is not that it is not that huge. So with that we can also eliminate the evergreen trees or the evergreen vegetation. Automatically you are finding the tropical moist deciduous forest. This is the logic, right? I want to understand. And now you can see the facts. There is always a fact. Tropical moist deciduous occupies almost 37% of the total area, and the remaining forest, tropical dry deciduous, is 28. You see, these two itself are having a decent one, right? This is a deciduous, this is also moist deciduous. Moist and dry deciduous, rainfall will be lesser, right? Then wet evergreen, subtropical moist hill range, semi evergreen are the remaining percentage. So most well developed forest in India, wide dominant area is the deciduous variety of forest, right? Am I clear, all of you? Right? Now let's move forward to the next question. Next question. Okay, right. Good, Gayatri, you are following. Right. Next question. Which of the following regions of India has a combination? Now you see the question. Now this is the trickiest question. Which of the following regions of India has a combination? What are they asking? Combination. Combination of what? Combination of mangrove forest, evergreen forest, deciduous forest. So which region you do find it? Now let us understand. This is the trickiness. So let us say mangrove forest, evergreen forest, deciduous forest. Mangroves, evergreen and deciduous. Now let us understand. North coastal Andhra Pradesh. The moment when you talk about coastal, do you find the mangrove forest? Where do you find the mangroves? Mangroves are found at the transition between land and water. So even in the north coastal Andhra Pradesh, do you find mangroves? Yes. Southwest Bengal. South West Bengal. Now southern side west is towards the landmass. There you might not find mangroves because it is far away. But the landmass of Bengal in the coastline is very, very. Southeast Bengal, maybe yes. Southern Bengal, maybe yes. Southwest Bengal, maybe no, right? Because it is towards the land, right? Then Andaman Nicobar Islands, coastal region, do you find mangroves? Yes. Saurashtra, southern Saurashtra, once again coastal, do you find mangroves? Maybe yes. Maybe yes. This is what we need to decode. So the first impression we'll be having is this one. Right? Now you see evergreen forest. Evergreen forest means what? Evergreen means where there is decent amount of rainfall. Where do you think the decent amount of rainfall is not there? Southern Saurashtra. Do you really think that Saurashtra will be having decent amount of rainfall? No. So eliminate this. Right? So this is a dry land region. Definitely you will not find around a decent amount of rainfall. Then Andaman Nicobar Island. Do you find decent amount of rainfall? Yes. Yes, Andaman Nicobar Islands is known for rainfall. Then you see Southwest Bengal. Do you find decent amount of rainfall? Rainfall is decent, but is it there opportunity for evergreen? As of now, for us, question mark. North coastal Andhra Pradesh. Do you find decent rainfall? Yes, but it is not sufficient for evergreen. So what is happening? Now the confusion is Now the answer is mostly with the Andaman Nicobar, which when you get to know from mangroves and evergreen. Deciduous means what? Shedding of leaves, where there is lesser rainfall. So, do you find deciduous forest in north coastal Andhra Pradesh? Definitely yes. Do you find Southwest Bengal deciduous? Yes. Saurashtra? Yes. Everything yes. Do you find Andaman Nicobar? This is the question mark now. Now what happens? The question mark with this, now you can segregate. The only option for damn sure while you are eliminating is southern Saurashtra, because you will not have evergreen for sure there because rainfall is lesser. But do you find evergreen at north coastal Andhra Pradesh? At the exam, during the exam time? Question mark. Southwest Bengal, do you find evergreen? Question mark. But do you find deciduous for Andaman Nicobar? Question mark. With these questions, you should be able to get the answer, right? So the options are quite, what do you say? It is a bit, it is of multiple dimensions which we need to understand here, right? So if you see this, do you find deciduous even in the Andaman Nicobar? Yes, because Andaman Nicobar is a huge stretch of area. There are certain interior areas within Andaman where do you find deciduous? Maybe not dominant, but definitely yes. So the only place where you can find combination of mangrove, evergreen, deciduous forest is Andaman Nicobar. But this is a very difficult question. I would definitely not expect you to get the answer right, because Andaman Nicobar, I mean, get the answer right with authority, with confidence, because many of you might be having confusion with respect to the deciduous variety, might be having confusion with north coastal Andhra Pradesh having evergreen. For example, some of the people say that along the eastern Ghats, because there is some decent amount of vegetation which can be seen, there is a possibility that their evergreen trees can be there. Unfortunately, that is not the case. If you see the map here, you can see here. You see here, the dark green color is the tropical evergreen, tropical wet evergreen, which is found along the coastal areas of Western Ghats, Andaman Nicobar, and as well as the northeastern India. Then you find the moist deciduous. This is where the light green structures, which you can see here, the light green. You don't find dark green here. So dark green is nowhere found here. It is found only here. So definitely evergreen forest means it is Karnataka, Kerala, to a certain extent, certain areas of northeastern India and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is the thing. Are you following, all of you? Have you got a fair idea now? Right? So this is the logic of trying to get an answer, right, when there is a multiple dimensions. Okay. So with this logic, you can clearly see I have given a map where you can easily see the wet evergreen, another map here, wet evergreen forest. Wet evergreen is here. There is no wet evergreen here, except here, there is no part here. So definitely you have to eliminate the option north coastal Andhra Pradesh and southwest Bengal. Then you are left with Andaman and Nicobar. This should be the answer. Okay. So with this logic, now do you find mangroves here? No. Do you find evergreen here? No. Do you find mangroves here? Yes. Right? So this is the thing. Okay, this is how you will be able to get an answer right. I hope you all are following this. Let's move to the next question now. Now this is also a difficult question. This is also a difficult question. Right. Now you see the alpine vegetation in the Himalayan, in the western Himalayas, the alpine vegetation in the western Himalayas. So alpine vegetation means what? At the top, right? With a higher elevation at the top of the mountains, elevations along the mountain tops. The alpine, or maybe not exactly at the top. Alpine here talks about the elevation with decent height. That's the idea. So in the western Himalayas, is found only up to height of 3000 meters, while in the eastern Himalayas is found up to a height of 4,000 meters. The reason for this variation in the same mountain range is that now the alpine vegetation in the western Himalayas, we are finding that it is up to height of 3,000 meters. In the eastern Himalayas, it is found up to a height of 4,000 meters. What explains the reason for this variation in the same mountain range? So what is happening? There is alpine vegetation. There is some kind of vegetation along the mountain slopes. And that mountain slope height in the western Himalayas, that is the regions of Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, you find at the height of 3,000 meters, whereas at the eastern Himalayas, it is the height of around 4,000 meters, the northeastern parts. What explains the reason? That is the question, right? Now, if you see the options given, eastern Himalayas are higher than western Himalayas. Eastern Himalayas are higher than western Himalayas. So, they are talking about what? Altitude. Where eastern Himalayas are nearer to the equator and seacoast than the western Himalayas. So, here they are talking about latitude. Eastern Himalayas get more rainfall than the western Himalayas. Here they are talking about moisture. Eastern Himalayan rocks are more fertile than the western Himalayan rocks. They are talking about fertility. So what explains the reason for that having more elevation? If you see the eastern Himalayas mountains, right? So if you see the northeastern India here, okay. So if you see the winds here, there are some decent winds which are coming up from the Bay of Bengal, which we call it as the southwest monsoon season in the months of June, July, August, September and subsequent months as well because of nearness to the ocean. You will find that there is a decent amount of rainfall. And the topography here, the topography of northeastern India, the topography of the hills range here. So you will find various hill ranges. You see here in the Meghalaya, you will find the hill ranges like this. Now they are allowing the winds, okay, they are allowing the winds coming from the ocean. Topographical alignment is in such a way that they will be funneling, concentrating towards the northeastern states. As they concentrate towards the northern states, we will have decent amount of rainfall. So usually also the rainfall, as you move from east to west of India, the rainfall actually decreases like this. So you will see that here this region gets more amount of moisture than the surroundings. So here by the time you reach here, the vegetation here is not getting decent amount of rainfall, whereas at the height of even 4,000 meters there is some kind of moisture. So eastern Himalayas get more moisture than the western Himalayas. This is the reason which is right. Now you have to compare the relative things. Is it not temperature is also an important reason for survival of vegetation? Yes. So if survival of the temperature is the reason, in fact actually temperature is much more favorable in the eastern Himalayas because of nearness to the equator, right? You will see nearest to the equator, temperatures are tropical. Tropical evergreen forests are found at Arunachal Pradesh. As you move top, you will find one of the challenges here. So such challenges, though the altitude is also a factor, it is not a major factor here in differentiating of vegetation, right? Altitude, temperature will decrease. If temperature decreases, when it is having eastern Himalayas are higher, then with more altitude, temperature should decrease further and there has to be no vegetation. But that is not the reason for this. The reason is, it is the moisture. Look at the question. Is all the four statements are correct? That is not being the option. Is it about the reason for this statement given is what the question is about. So with this you can say that eastern Himalayas, though they are higher than the western Himalayas, though that will bring the temperature variation, that is not a factor. The factor is the rainfall. This is the trickiness of the question. I hope you all got it, right? Is it clear now? Is it interesting now? You got the answer right now? You got the differentiation factor, the doubts and all of you? Is it resolved? Okay, right. Then let's move to the next question. If you travel through the Himalayas, you are likely to see which of the following plants naturally growing there. If you travel through the Himalayas, you are likely to see which of the following plants naturally growing there. So, as you move across the Himalayas, what are the topographical features they can ask you? What is the natural vegetation features they can ask you? So, they are here asking you about the natural plants, the vegetation which you see all across the Himalayas. So, what are the options given are? Oak, rhododendron, sandalwood. Now, if you see the select answer, oak, you do find oaks along the temperate regions. Definitely along the Himalayas, you will find oak. Rhododendron is very famous. Uttarakhand, the Great Valley of Flowers, you do find rhododendrons. Sandalwood, few areas you do find sandalwood, but that is very, very rare. It is exceptional. So you can consider this as no. Answer is 1 and 2 only. So you can ignore. You are likely to see, you see the word likely to see, dominance is oak and rhododendron. Sandalwood is mostly in the Deccan Plateau, along the Deccan Plateau region, where there is a, it is what? Tropical deciduous variety of tree. I hope you are able to follow this, right? Yes, Pankaj, sandalwood is a dry deciduous. Maybe it is red sandalwood is a dry deciduous. You can that the general sandalwood is deciduous. So the answer would be 1 and 2. I think with the movie Pushpa, you know that red sandalwood, it is the eastern India. The red sandalwood is part of the Seshachalam hills, the regions in and around Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. You should have got this answer right from that statement, isn't it? 1 and 2 only is the option. I hope you got it now. The oak, rhododendron, sandalwood, 1 and 2 only. Let's move forward to the next thing. Right. Next question. Right. Which one of the following is not essentially a species of the Himalayan vegetation? Which one of the following is not essentially a species of the Himalayan vegetation? Juniper, mahogany. See, these are all previous year questions asked by UPSC. So we are learning out of this, isn't it? This is not a question which I have created. Remember, that's why for every file I am putting this word previous year questions. Which one of the following is not essentially a species of the Himalayan vegetation? Juniper, mahogany, silver fir, spruce. So if you see it, juniper is found in the Himalayas. It is found in the Himalayas. Silver fir and spruce is also part of the Himalayas. In fact, mahogany is a tropical evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forest. Mahogany is evergreen. Yes, Pankaj, you are right. Mahogany is tropical evergreen. So if you see from that, you can eliminate, and based on that, option is B. Juniper, silver fir, spruce are the temperate vegetation which you find across the Himalayas. In fact, juniper, this is how it looks like. The vegetation like a Christmas tree, cone shaped vegetation, juniper, very famous. So this is the juniper. Spruce and spruce fir are anyhow part of the Himalayas. We already knew this, right? The thing which is new here is the juniper. Mahogany, it is part of this. See, now you see. Is this topic easily discussed in found in NCERT? Yes. The question, is it found in NCERT? Yes. If it is found in NCERT, is the probability of a topper getting it right? Probability of a topper getting it right. Is the probability of topper getting it right is there? Yes. Right. So because it is easily covered, it is there in most of the questions, I expect you to get it right. I don't want you to get it wrong here, right? So with this, I want you to get what do you say? Such questions you should not be missing. When it is easily part of the basic textbooks, when it is easily expected you to know, you cannot do blunders. Now, this question which I have spoken about, or rather this one, this is there, but it's a difficult one. It is a tricky one. I expect this to be somewhere between medium to difficult, but definitely not easy. Similarly, this question is also a bit medium to difficult, not easy. So the probability of you getting it right, maybe you might have some challenges, but definitely in other questions, it is very, very easy, right? So that is why while you are preparing, the objective is you should also understand the probability of a topper getting it right or wrong. Learnings are there as well as this. So next question. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct code. Okay. Now you see the options. Now you see, this is a mapping based question. This is a topic where you can understand from certain ideas which are given in the question as well. For example, Ratnagiri mangroves are found in which part of the country? Ratnagiri mangroves, if you have studied say Ratnagiri mangoes, they're also prominent. A prominent tourist spot is also a Ratnagiri, not that prominent but decent enough. It is getting slowly popular. If you see Ratnagiri, it is part of Maharashtra. A4. Right. Then, if you don't know about Ratnagiri, you should have known about Vembanad. So let us see what you know. Objective is to get the answer right. Vembanad. Vembanad is a popular lake, isn't it? Do you see the lake? Around the lake, you find some kind of coastal areas. Popular lake, Vembanad. It is part of the coastal region of Kerala. So it is D2. D2. And it is also a Ramsar site, if I am not wrong. Ramsar site. Of course, recently you find more Ramsar sites. The number is nearer to now almost 80 or 100, something nearer to 80 as such, right? So it's difficult to remember such many sites, but definitely the popular lake in India is Vembanad. So maybe that will help you to understand further, right? So A2, A4, D2. You see A4, D2, you have option between B and D. So these options are eliminated. Now, then also the options are not sufficient. Then you need to know Pichavaram. If you see Pichavaram, it is a place of Tamil Nadu. C5. Kundapur, it is part of Karnataka. Pichavaram is part of Tamil Nadu. So maybe some of you might not be aware about this, but at least if you have eliminated, the minimum expectation I have you is your answer should be between B and D. You should not get it right beyond, you should not get it wrong beyond this. If you are confusion between these things in the exam, during the exam, okay, it is acceptable. You are bound to do mistakes in the exam, but not able to understand about that Vembanad is part of Kerala, that is not acceptable by the time you go to the exam. You are aspiring of a competitive exam. Vembanad is a popular place in India. You are supposed to get it right. Right? Okay. This is the nature of you getting it right or wrong. It is not just getting answer right. So if you do commit a mistake here, this is acceptable between B and D. But if you are going for A and C, not acceptable. With this, the right answer is A4, D2, C5, D. And as you can see the map, Ratnagiri, you can see here. Ratnagiri, Maharashtra, Kondapur, West Bengal, sorry, Karnataka. Then you can see Vembanad, part of the Kerala. Then you see Pichavaram, part of the Tamil Nadu. Koringa Sanctuary, Krishna Yeshwari is part of the Andhra Pradesh, right? Then Mahanadi Delta, Bhitarkanika Mangrove, very important mangrove center. Sundarbans is known to anyone. So if I give Sundarban option, everyone will put it right. So definitely UPSC would not be asking such questions, right? Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so this is the thing. Sometimes, you know what some people will be doing? Yes, Pankaj, you are saying that I just guess Pichavaram similar to Rameshwaram and hence Tamil Nadu. Such things will click sometimes, such things will not click sometimes. But there is some intuition. See, when you know that Ratnagiri is Maharashtra, when you know that Vembanad is Kerala, then you can vouch for see Pichavaram, possibly it is Tamil Nadu, like you are guess that Pichavaram, Rameshwaram, such kind of things. That is acceptable. But if you don't know about A and D, don't do that. Okay, then now you are throwing stones into the dark. So that is not acceptable. All right, Pankaj? Right? So your calculative guesswork should come or should support your core knowledge. Your calculative guesswork should not be your core. Say for example, for you to get to this option, calculative guesswork should not work. That might go wrong. Your core should support, then you can use calculative guesswork for getting a right answer when there is a confusion between B and D. See, B and D is called confusion. If you are confusing between all the 4 options, then that is not confusion. Confusion means only 2 options. Confusion between 4 options, how can you call it as confusion? Now you got an idea, no? So such things, it's a thing. Say for example, I still remember one of the toppers saying it. You know, when you see one question where topper said, which of the following are sun temples in India? One of the option is, they are talking about, one of the option given was, okay, which of the following are sun temple? And among the options given is definitely Konark Sun Temple, that is not an option given there. So among all the options given, there is one popular Ishwar based, so Shiva temple which was given in the option. So when it is already Shiva, there is no chance of that becoming a sun temple. So he eliminated in that way. So such calculative guessworks might work sometimes, right? But not necessarily every time. So you need to do it. It is not like you have to avoid such things. You have to do calculative guessworks, but it has to be supplemented with core knowledge. And the more you practice with such kind of calculative guesswork, you will get to know how is your brain working, right? So can you trust your brain or not in such questions? That is also very, very key thing, right? This kind of practice is meant for testing you when you are being thrown to the deep end, right? So can you swim? Can you come out? Understand yourself. Then accordingly take a call. Based on that understanding only during the exam, go for calculative guesswork. Attempting questions of 85 plus is not easy when you have such kind of things to identify. I hope you got it now, right? So with this, I will be ending now, right? All of you, when whoever has any kind of doubts and all, you can always get into my Telegram channel. Mere getting into the Telegram channel is useless unless and until you are resolving your doubts by having interaction with me, right? So it is an objective. The objective of Telegram channel is for interaction, resolving your doubts. Okay, then all of you take care. Have a great weekend, right? Enjoy the weekend. Have a pleasant time. Learn, regroup, and happy learnings to you, all of you. And don't forget to also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you. We'll see you again on Monday.